What's up, guys? Welcome to the Top Shelf Show. My name is Dustin Kinnan. We are so excited to have you here. On this show, we talk to high-quality entrepreneurs and business owners about life, about family, about work, about goals and dreams and everything that goes into being an entrepreneur. We are so excited to have you here. We hope you walk away with some incredible insight into their lives and their stories and some inspiration for your business and your brand and achieving the goals that you have for your life. Thank you so much for checking it out, and we'll see you in there. So, guys, welcome to the Shelf Life Show. Today we have Ellie Cummins on here. We're going to get into all the things, but first, Ellie, tell me about what you do. Full open. Tell me about what you do.
I get the full introduction.
Full introduction, yeah.
Well, I'm Ellie Cummins. I own Your Books Bookkeeping, and basically what we do is a lot of CPA firms and tax firms will do your bookkeeping for you. Maybe quarterly, maybe toward the end of the year to catch you up. What we focus more on is every month we're keeping you up to date so that you're getting profit and loss, balance sheet, so that you can make financial decisions for your business. Because I'm a firm believer, if you know your numbers, then you kind of have a really good basis for making strategic decisions. So that's what we do.
Now, did you, how did you, because I hear bookkeeping and the creative in me just wants to go like find the closest.
Curl up and die.
Curl up and die, find the closest cliff and like jump head first off of like just very much like not what Dusty was like naturally made to do. How did you get into this?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So I have always loved money and tracking money. Okay. So that makes me sound super like, oh, I love money. Not like that, but I love the idea that when you kind of keep an eye on your budget and like what categories you have and what you're spending, you can actually kind of control it and save more and use it to spend on travel or whatever you want. So I always loved that. Then in college, I did an accounting degree just kind of because it was better than a business degree in my mind. I was like, I'll just do something that's a little bit more focused. Yeah. Turned out that I was actually good at it. I was shocked. Yeah. And I liked it. So I think for me, I'm very excited about small businesses. I worked in small business since I was 14. My dad has had a million businesses. He's definitely a serial entrepreneur. So I got the chance to like completely growing up, just see how small business really influences other people. Like, you can affect so many people with your small business, and you can hire people, you're helping their families, you're helping them have the flexibility they need to see their kids and to like create their own life. So it's very important to me that like small businesses thrive. And I decided, okay, bookkeeping is a good way that I can help. That's something that I enjoy. It's weird. I'm nerdy. A client laughed at me because I got off a call with her and I was like, I'm so excited. I'm going to go work on your book. She was like, that's not normal. Like,
I'm glad you like it. Yeah. Yeah.
Please take this away from me because I want to cry. So I was like, okay, yeah. So that's kind of why I decided to get into it.
Well, I feel like the something I've talked to people about like a lot is the like people have like natural giftings and like natural talents towards certain things. And like when you find something where like I naturally just like this thing. And also like there's this avenue to where like I'm able to take this thing that I really like to do and use it like in a business, but I would say like in service to other people. Like it becomes this thing where you're like, yes, you do bookkeeping, right? But then there's this passion behind it where it's not like, hey, like I'm just going to do these bookkeeping because like I can like just, you know, it's a paycheck, it pays the bills. It's like, no, hey, like I really like this is like I've seen like, so I'm kind of like dissecting what you said. Like you saw the impact that, you know, having, you know, knowing where your money was and like knowing the organization and having that behind it, like how big of an impact it made on your dad's life as a serial entrepreneur, and now being able to like do that for other people. You know what I mean? That's killer. Like, okay.
Cool.
Is that, okay, first off, I'm assuming, is that kind of an accurate summation? Like, is that kind of, okay, cool.
Yes,
awesome.
That's awesome.
It's just cool, like, because it takes it from like, oh, hey, like we do this as a business and like make money to like, hey, like there's a real like purpose, there's a passion behind it. Like that's a like because people can gravitate towards that, you know. How long has the business been around?
The business is new. I started it January 2025.
Nice. Okay.
I am an accountant at heart, so I was like, I'm going to start this on January 1. I'll have my LLC prepped and we'll go for it.
Nice.
So it's brand new.
What so kind of as like I don't want to say a newer business, but like somebody who's kind of getting into owning a business, right? Like what's been huge for you in the past? Like the first, I mean, it's November now, well, end of November now, which is crazy. So first year owning a business, like actually, did you own a business before, or like what did you do before bookkeeping?
I did some freelance work through college, but I mostly worked for a CPA, and then I was a cost specialist at an engineering firm. So no, I mostly was working for other people. This is my first like full-time owning a business.
Gotcha.
So that was a really good question. Owning a business in the first year, what I've discovered has been super helpful to me. It's twofold. First, it's the connections, because I feel like it's very easy to feel alone when you're first starting out.
100%.
So I really am grateful that I got to meet a lot of people in the first quarter, maybe Q2 as well. And I just felt less alone. Like I knew people, people who knew people. That's also how I got some of my first clients. So the relationship side makes you feel less alone. The other side is, probably this is specific to bookkeeping, but the process side. So I had to spend a lot of time in the first few months, like doing the really not fun work of like laying down the processes, getting things automated, like starting to figure out how I can use AI, or how can I use like even my folder system in Google Drive. Like how am I going to make this super smooth on myself so that I can like continue to scale this and get multiple clients and get my time down to where I can handle that.
Yeah. Well, not even just you, but like thinking of like when you want to bring in somebody else, when you want to scale your operation, like if everything is just in your head and you don't understand, like you understand it, but to everybody else, it's like Pandora's box. Like this just does not make sense, and everything's everywhere, and there's no rhyme or reason or logic, whatever. Like it's gonna be really hard to bring other people in versus when you have like the systems. 100%. That was something I had to learn. Was like being more on the creative side. Was very much like, oh, we're just gonna kind of like do this way or whatever. Versus like, hey, here's a system, here's the process, and like I when I started doing that stuff, it was very much like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is stupid. Like, I want to just go make some pretty things. Like, you know what I mean? This is not fun. This is not what like Dusty wants to do.
Right.
But we brought on our first editor like a month ago, and it's been so cool because like, yes, there's been things that like we've needed to like tweak or, you know, kind of like, I don't say trial by fire, but like, you know, once we put them in place, it's like, hey, actually, this is a better way of doing that kind of thing. But way smoother than it would have been if it was just like, okay, well, welcome. Here's the stuff. Here's the things. Like, let's just see how it goes. You know, it would not have gone well. So yeah, systems, 100%. Now, getting into getting into like the first year business. So you're almost at 1 year. Congrats. Is there anything like, from speaking specifically like bookkeeping, right? Is there anything on the bookkeeping side that you would recommend for people? So I know we said like networking, meeting other people, systems, kind of overarching. Anything on the bookkeeping side that you'd be like, hey, if this is your first year in business, like this that you got to do?
That is a really good question. This is going to sound super obvious and simple to people, but I'm just going to state it. A lot of businesses in their first year are scrambling, and they either knew they were going to start, or maybe they kind of just started on accident and then they grew and they're like, okay,
this is a thing now.
Apparently, this is a business I have. I would say the main thing is go ahead and, I know it's hard, go ahead and pay for some sort of bookkeeping software. Xero is cheaper than QuickBooks. QuickBooks is really awesome though. Go ahead and get one, and either learn or go ahead and get somebody else that you know and will do a good job just to keep up with it. Because when you get to the end of the year and it is time for you to be doing taxes and look back over the money you made, like it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a headache. You're going to be overwhelmed. Even if you don't like it, the easier thing is to just do bite-sized pieces.
Even if you don't like it, you got to do it. Yeah.
Yes. So you'll be happy that you did it month by month instead of waiting and then doing 12 months at once. Like that's one piece of advice. That's probably the biggest, honestly.
I have some firsthand testimony on that one because I didn't. I was like, what was bad is I even got QuickBooks. Like I got the like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna have the software and I'm gonna do the thing and whatever. And I didn't, and I didn't keep up with it month over month. So I'm sitting there in like December and I'm like, there's this charge in April, and
you don't remember?
I couldn't tell you what.
That's a lifetime ago.
Yeah, like I couldn't. I spent this money in April. Like we had this money in April. Like
I had a business in April. I don't remember that far back.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had the business was operating.
Okay.
Like so like that. That's been killer. Of like that, like the kind of ongoing, like the ongoing management. And even if it's like you said, even if it's like, I don't want to say surface level, but even if it's introductory, just treading water, if you will, like just something so that like when the time comes around where you got to do more, like you're not just you're not trying to build it all at once. Now, okay, so something this I didn't tell you about this, but mainly because I knew I wanted to talk to you about it here. Profit first.
Yes.
Okay, so you would be probably one of the only bookkeepers I know who has like I've had conversations with bookkeepers about profit first, but I think you're the only one that I've talked to that like instigated the conversation. That was like, oh, have you heard of this thing called profit first? Because usually it's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this thing called profit first. What's that? Here's the book. For context, Profit First is a book. I'm blanking on his name. Help me out.
Mike, somebody.
Mike, yeah, it's Mike. Mike.
I read books and I'm like, there's an author to this.
So I want to say it's like this is awful. I want to say it's like Sawalski or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds Polish.
It sounds Polish.
Yep.
It's Mike something Polish. We'll put the information on the screen. But Profit First is a system of banking where and you could probably explain this better than I can, but basically it's a system of banking where rather than like operating your business and like, okay, you pay all your bills and then you pay everything and then whatever's left over is a profit for the business. Instead, you're prioritizing profit in the business. So everything comes in, whatever your profit's going to be, you set aside the profit, and then taxes and owner pay and all these things. So basically like it's a very intentional it's a very intentional system of banking for a business where like instead of just kind of everything comes in, you pay the bills and whatever's left over you're setting aside profit first. Hence the name. They were real clever with that one. Real clever with that one. You set aside profit first, and then after that, that's what you operate your business off of. That's what is that like a decent summary?
Fantastic. Yeah,
okay.
That was so good.
How did you get into Profit First?
I had someone recommend it and they said, this changed the way I ran my business. You need to read this. Mm-hmm. And when I read it, I was like, okay, yeah, I could totally see that, especially for a business in their first year. So actually tying back into your earlier question, if I had something to say about first year business, most people don't make a profit in their first year. Mm-hmm. And some of them even are in the red and they actually end up like spending a lot of money and not making any. And Profit First, I think I can say confidently, is what allowed me to make a profit this first year. Just starting out, my finances are in good order. It really did change how I approached this first year of business.
Yeah. So we started in 2018 and like, I feel like that was what I was always told going into a business is like, oh, you're not going to be profitable for the first, they said like 5 years or something, but like, you're not going to be profitable for whatever X amount of years is. Right. And then it just is what it is. Like, you're just not really going to be profitable. Like doesn't mean that you're not going to make money personally. It just means that your business is not going to make a profit for the first couple of years. And I just kind of took it at face value. I was just like, okay, well, you're sitting on that side of the desk. So like, okay, you know better than I do. So, okay. And I got introduced to Profit First. Maybe it was a year ago, something like that. Maybe a little less than a year, but about a year ago, whatever. And yeah, I wish I'd known about it in 2018. Like it would have changed it would have changed the past, like, almost decade of Top Shelf. So we started really using Profit First about a month and a half ago. And it was kind of this dry turkey, or that's not a word. Cold turkey, like just we're doing Profit First now, because it was always like we had kind of like, hey, we should do this, we need to do this, but I was like waiting for like, oh, like the perfect time, right?
Which
never happens in business.
Right.
I was like, oh, like we'll just do it after this quarter, or like let's wrap up this quarter and then we'll move into it or whatever. And finally, I was just like, you know what? Nope, we're just doing it. We're just gonna start it. And it's been great. It's it's been killer. Like, and being able, what you said earlier about being able to like sit down and see where everything is. So like you can tell, like that's one of the things about Profit First, which probably should explain, is you have accounts for like your operation expenses, your taxes, your pay. And you can get more complex than that, where you can do like travel and, equipment and however much you want to, like break it down. But they recommend starting with like the 5. And it was just awesome being able to see like, okay, cool. This money is in like 30,000 foot view. This money's in the account, but actually like this money is for this and this money, because I'm again, creative visual person. So like, that's always been a real struggle for me, having one business bank account, is there might be, $15,000 in that account, but that doesn't mean I can spend $15,000. Yeah, that's not all for me. Like, and then I think the other issue there is that like you see it and it's like, okay, cool, I have this money, I can spend it. And I think you don't, like, most people, they're day to day. They're not necessarily thinking holistically, like they're not thinking profit. They're thinking operating the business. So when you're able to like just off the rip be like, cool, awesome, this is my profit, and then I run everything else off of here, and I buy equipment, or I whatever, hire people, or like whatever that looks like off of that. Like no matter what else happens, the business is profitable because you're making it profitable. Such a big fan. Now do you I don't know if you can make people do it, but like, do you like insist on profit first? Do you like when people start working with you, you're like, hey, we need to do this? Like, how does profit first play itself out in your business when you're working with people?
Okay, I find that profit first really works well for people who are not accountant brained. So
Okay.
for
Me.
creatives, yes.
Me, yep. 100%.
Basically, for people who don't want to go look at a profit and loss to figure out how much money they have.
Okay.
Because that doesn't work well. And that's kind of what he points out in the book, which is if you go look at your profit and loss, you don't know what the heck that is.
It's like reading Greek.
It's
like
so complicated.
Yeah.
Yes. And even if you look at the profit number, like, where is that profit? Like, okay, so it says I made $2,000, but when you look at your bank account, you're like, I don't understand what portion of that is the $2,000. And I know I've got some bills that are going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend it to people just because, like you said, it gives people a clear way to look at their bank account twice a month and be like, okay, I've got 2,000 in this account. So if I can come up with a creative way that I can spend only 2,000, then that's great. And I'll use that for my marketing or for my advertising, whatever I'm planning on doing. But it kind of just keeps people from seeing $15,000 and going, sweet, I'm going to do a huge project.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I recommend it specifically to businesses where the business owner wants to be making decisions for their business, but they aren't a huge fan of looking at the balance sheet, the profit and loss, things like that are very complicated sometimes and take a lot more. Honestly, you need a college degree sometimes, it feels like, just to look through it all and understand.
There's been times where I'm just like, I think that's one of the things that has always like held me off from it, was like, it's just because it's not what I naturally do, right? Like, it's just not my natural, like I would call it like zone of genius, right? Because it's not like my natural zone of genius. I'm just like, it's real. Let's say it this way. It's really easy for me to put it off. It's really easy for me to be like, nah, it's okay. I'll do that tomorrow, next week. Like, I got to do these other things that I'm better at first. Right. And I feel like that's been for me for Profit First. That's helped me with the financial part of it, where it's like, okay, cool. Like, this is in a way where I can understand it, and I'm still, like, being responsible with it. Like, I can still, like, I know what's happening. I know what's coming in. I know what's going out. Like, I can be involved with it without feeling just like, oh my gosh, like there's money in the account. I think that we're okay, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out,
Yes.
Yeah. So
not a good feeling. Just flying by the seat of your pants.
No, not a good feeling. Well, and like even thinking like, so going into like next month, right? Like, because we have a budget and we know like what we're spending on stuff, whatever, like I can go into next month knowing like, okay, cool. Like, just not my emotions, right? Just looking at our budget and what we have to spend on X, Y, whatever. Awesome. We have everything to pay the bills next month. Great. So it's like now moving into like next week and end of the year and whatever, it's like, okay, cool. Now it kind of raises your eye line a little bit, because it's like, okay, I know everything's taken care of. So now what can I do to move the needle a little bit farther in the business? I'm not having to worry about how do I pay my bills next week. Now it's like, okay, what do we want to be doing next quarter, what next month, next year, that kind of thing. And I don't know that I really had that. I don't know that I really felt that freedom before Profit First, because it was kind of like, yes, there's money in the account, but what's it actually being spent on? Also, having a tax account.
It is a game changer.
Having a tax account, having an account that there's money just sitting in it, literally for the tax man. Like, literally, so when my CPA talks to me and they're like, hey, you owe this quarter, you owe one. Awesome.
I have that.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's, you can get that from this account. Like, you can get that from over there.
Yeah.
And then just, it's just cool. Like, it's one of those things where like, it really takes the pressure off of like, oh my gosh, I really like, you're kind of just like crossing your fingers. And it's like, oh, I hope it's not too bad. I hope it's not too bad. I hope it's not too bad. I hope it's not too bad.
Will I survive?
Well, exactly. Will I survive? You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're, so like working with clients, right? Is there like an industry that you prefer? I know you said like you would recommend Profit First for, call us the budget impaired people. You would recommend like Profit First for like the budget impaired and the more like visually not numbers driven people, right? So what that tells me is that like you work with both, like you kind of see a spectrum. Do you have an industry you like to work with, or that like you maybe gravitate a little bit more towards, or kind of tell me about that? Like, what's like the makeup of people you work with?
Absolutely. Okay, I have a ton of fun working with marketing companies for some reason. Probably because I grew up in them. I just really understand them and I enjoy them. I think that they're really cool.
Sure.
But beyond that, I love working with almost any industry. I focus on the service industry. So anything where there is an individual or they have a team, maybe 10 to 15 employees, and they are providing a service to someone. So I also track products and I can help with inventory and e-commerce. Sure. But I tend to enjoy the service industry just because that's something that I'm so well aware of and something that I've experienced a lot.
Yeah.
And it's very meaningful to me because when you provide a service to someone, you have a lot of control over how you create that experience for them.
Yeah. Now, did your dad do a lot of service-based businesses?
He did, yes. Okay. So my favorite company that I got to work for was Nectify, and that's a content marketing company.
Yeah, they sound familiar. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay.
They're really great. I love them. They really focus on high quality, like written content. We also had some manufacturing businesses, all sorts of things. But I think what I discovered in the service industry, and this is just from a financial perspective, sure, you can create a premium experience for someone and you can really define who you are as a company and your brand and your niche. Whereas with a product-based company, you are a little bit more, you're tighter with your margins, right? Because you have to pay for, there's physical goods you're paying for, you're shipping things in, you're paying for boxes, you're packaging things, you're paying for UPS. It's just, there's more to cover. Whereas with the service industry, if I have a skill that I'm providing to you, there's a lot wider range that I can work with there to craft something for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no. Well, and I think that so the trade-off there, like, is on the one side you have like hard cost of, like your packaging and your shipping and your product and your things like that, and on the other side you're the only, assuming you're doing a service and there's no supplies and whatever, things like that, but like on that side of it, it's time. Like you can spend more time doing it, and I would say the time is infinitely more valuable than like the product, because like you can always make more of other things, whereas time is a very finite resource. So you can't there is a lot of value. Or to try this again, there is a lot that you can do there, and like investing more time in like the service and the experience for people. And to your point, like it actually, I would say, even makes it that much more valuable, because you're investing something that that is a very finite resource. You're not going to make more. You're not going to get more time. You're not whatever, So when you're able to invest that, like it just becomes, well, yes, it has the opportunity to be that much more impactful for people, because you're investing something that is a very finite resource, which is just cool. I
100% agree. And it also comes into more the human relations side, because then you bring on employees or you have contractors, and it becomes a much more people-oriented area, because you're taking on specific people with specific skills. So it's just fun. It's more interesting to me.
Yeah. No, I get it. Well, and then, okay, so if you're, so like thinking with, so service-based industry, okay, so I'm wondering about this. Is there, I know you mentioned, like solopreneur, you said 10 to 15 people teams? Yes. Okay. Is there like an income range or revenue range that like you sit inside of? So not that you couldn't work with people smaller or bigger, but like this is your like, I say optimal range, right? Anything like that, or kind of across the board?
You ask great questions.
I try.
This is fabulous. You should have a podcast.
Yeah, no, yeah, I really should.
Okay, so I have clients anywhere from $30K in revenue to $4 million. So there really is a vast range. I would say where it becomes much more beneficial to people is about the $200,000 range. Nice. On up, obviously, like two.
That's going to be a blooper. I'm so excited for that.
Who was it?
So the other building is what are they called? Diversion services.
Okay.
And
that's the parking spot I took. I was like, am I allowed to be here?
No, you're fine. I can't tell you how many times I have somebody knock on the door and it's like, Top Shelf.
They're so
company.
Disappointed when they open it.
This is not it. No, it's like there's a big old sign next to the door that says Top Shelf Media Company. But for some reason, people just don't see it.
They're like, something cool's happening in there.
Well, so diversion services is like they got arrested for something, and the diversion services is like they got arrested and convicted, or maybe not arrested, but they got convicted of something, usually drunk driving. A lot of Clemson kids. Hashtag. But diversion services is like, okay, you did this thing, you're in the wrong, but you're going to do this program or you're going to do this thing or whatever. If you do this and then you don't get in trouble again for like X amount of time, then we take it off your record.
Oh.
But if you get in trouble again in this X amount of time, not only will you get in trouble for the thing that you do, but we will also like retroactively bring this thing that you also were responsible for, bring this down
Back
on you
on
too.
record,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. So like it's a lot of drunk driving kids from Clemson.
Okay.
Anyway, the amount of times every week I get people knocking on the door or coming in or whatever, and it's like, this is a top shelf media company. Like they have a diversion services
There's not
sign
much I
on
can do
their
to help.
yeah, I listen. I mean,
Good luck. I don't
good luck. Exactly. I got some water. Like but like
coffee.
yeah, I can't really like help you guys with what you're here for. So anyway, that's gonna be a blooper. I'm excited for that one. Okay, so we were talking revenue range. You said the biggest thing that was gonna make the difference in that.
About 200,000. I feel like once you get to that revenue range, you're definitely hiring people. You're definitely super slammed as an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. You probably should consider taking bookkeeping off your plate at that point, just so that you can focus.
If you're doing it yourself.
Yes. And I know I said first year, my recommendation is to get somebody to do it. Mm-hmm. That is how you afford it.
Yeah.
I would say I have seen a lot of people who will just push bookkeeping on an employee who didn't take any classes in it, doesn't know anything about it. That employee usually is pretty sad about it as well, but it's not usually like the best use of your employee, because they both have better skills that they can be putting to use. And if you go get a bank loan or you're ready to sell your business, you do want your bookkeeping to be in good shape and to be in the right categories and to be reconciled with your bank statements, just for ease of getting that loan or selling your business.
Yeah. Well, and then if you're like, now when you work with people, is it a like what am I looking for? Like a fractional financial officer,
like a CFO?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, is it something like that, or is it like a full-time thing, or like what does that look like?
So basically, I work with companies who want bookkeeping services and they would love to hire a full-time bookkeeper, but they probably aren't big enough to have somebody be 40 hours a week.
Sure.
That would be super, like a lot of overhead for them to pay salary for. So yes, I provide premium bookkeeping, which means I'm coming in person. I can pick up your receipts. I'm taking the most off your plate I can, bookkeeping wise.
Nice.
Which just I'm keeping everything organized for you. I'm organizing receipts. I've got file systems, things like that, just to make things simple. So I don't do CFO services currently.
Okay.
I do have someone I recommend. He's fantastic. I do kind of give a summary at the end of each month, and I do let you know any percentages. I let you know your kind of, your revenue went up, but this expense also went up, and hey, look at this. So I will kind of give you just some things to look at in our monthly On Your Books report that I send.
Gotcha.
But it's just like hey, here's so that you feel super aware of your finances and you kind of know what happened for the month.
Nice.
It's a summary.
Well, that's cool, because you get like you get the information so that you're informed to make decisions, that kind of thing, without having to like hit your head against the wall. Well, I would anyway. Hit your head against the wall and like, okay, like I need to go and try to slog through this thing that I don't understand. It's going to take me 3 times as long to do. It's not going to be as good. There's probably going to be issues. I hope I'm doing this right. That was this. All I'm doing is just like giving like a description of how I felt doing it. Like it's just, this is awful, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I think I'm doing it right, but I'm probably not doing it right. And this is just this is
awful. I can quote you on that.
This is horrible. Like
this is awful.
Bookkeeping. This is awful. Get somebody else to do it. But you get like the information that you need to make kind of what you said at the beginning, where like you need to know your numbers, like because if you know your numbers, then you're able to make informed decisions about like your business and what you're doing and goals and investment and just all the things that you do as a business owner. So that's killer, because then you get like, because you get like that problem solved for you, and then you also get empowered with the information to make the decisions. Did you always want to do this? Like, so I know you said you worked in
corporate America.
Yeah, corporate America. Well, I'm trying to think of the name of the company. You worked in, it wasn't bookkeeping, it was accounting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As like a cost specialist.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of worked in and around generally this, like
with money.
with money, yeah.
It all ties in somehow.
Yeah. Did you like? What made you say, "Hey, I want to go start this business"? Like, make that jump.
I have always wanted to be a business owner, and I realized sitting at my desk one day that I had chosen to go the corporate route because it felt safer, and I was kicking myself because I knew exactly what it was that I wanted to do, and I knew exactly the business I wanted to start, and I realized that I had been too scared, and I thought that I couldn't do it, and so I had taken the easier route. So that was what made me decide I needed to take more risk in my life and I needed to take the plunge and see if I could do it.
Love that. Now, okay, so was this conversation with us about a year ago then, if you like started in January?
Yep. It was in November last year. So exactly a year. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Okay, so if somebody is like, so kind of shifting away from like accounting, bookkeeping, like that for a second. You're almost a year in at this point. Like a year ago, you were like, hey, I'm assuming a relatively like safe position. The bills are getting paid, whatever, but I'm like not really fulfilled doing what I'm doing. Like I know that there's this thing that I want to go and do and build and grow, right? What would you tell to you a year ago of somebody who's like, hey, I'm safe here, like where I'm at, but I know there's this thing that I want to go do, call it building a business as an example, but there's this thing I know I want to go build, I want to go do whatever. What would you tell to a year ago, Ellie? Like, yeah.
That is so fun. Okay. What you said about there never feeling like there's a perfect time and you keep waiting for a sign and waiting for a sign and it never feels like you're going to get that. You don't get a sign. You don't get a perfect time.
There is no neon. There is no neon in the sky. Yeah.
So what I would tell November 2024 Ellie, who was anxious about leaving something that she knew and anxious about making ends meet, is you're never going to not be scared about money, about starting something new. You're never going to not doubt your abilities. You will always think that you can't do it, but you can and you should try. So that was basically my takeaway. And when I started it, I realized like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted. I'm so happy I did this. But if I hadn't been willing to be super uncomfortable and have that moment where I was like, oh crap, this might not work, then I would have stayed and I would have continued just dreaming about what if.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like we're talking business, right? And like bookkeeping and building a business and stuff. But I think that's like the larger application there is like with anything you want to do, whether it's like building a business or it's, talent or not talent, like some kind of extracurricular hobby you want to do, or it's getting in shape, or it's whatever
buying a house, choosing someone to marry, like literally everything,
anything in life, like all of this stuff, like you've got so a different circle that I run in, like how they would describe this is you have to have your shitty first draft. Like you have to have your, like the first step into this thing, whatever it's going to be, is not going to be good. It's not going to be your final draft. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be whatever, but you have to have that first draft in order to refine it and wordsmith it and tweak it and all the things, right? Refine it to get it to where you want it to be, but you've got to have the first draft first. Like you're never going to get anywhere if you don't have that first draft, you know? And I feel like if you had stayed in the job that you were a year ago, like not to say that you wouldn't have enjoyed some aspect of your job, right? I'm assuming you didn't like totally hate your job, like, you know, like, but you wouldn't be as happy. You wouldn't be as fulfilled being able to, like, as you are now. I know, again, I'm making a ton of assumptions, but
you're right,
like, but like you wouldn't have been able to like go and build this thing and like really like, I don't know, just do this thing that you really wanted to do. And like, and it's scary and it's like, oh my gosh, how are we paying the bills this month? And like all that just goes with owning a business. But you're better off taking the leap and like doing the thing that you know that you're supposed to be doing, even if it's scary, even if you got to do a crappy first draft, like all the things. That was a very long ramble. How does that sit? Like, does that, like, thoughts on that?
Yes, that is such a good summary. I would rather, as an entrepreneur, be in the driver's seat, and even if there's a crash coming or even if there are roadblocks, I want to be the one that gets to make the call. I want to be the one that's holding the wheel.
I love that. Like you want to be the one in the driver's seat. So even if you know that there's a crash coming, like you want to be the one that, like, not that you want to drive it into the wreck necessarily.
Not trying to crash.
Yeah, we're not trying. But no, I love that. Like, we're not trying to crash, but you want to drive. Like, you're not trying to crash.
I don't want to be in the backseat.
Exactly.
I want to see what's coming, and I want to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah, I feel like that's the, like, if you had to boil down like entrepreneurs, like no matter like what the business is, the industry, the whatever, that, like, if you, like, the one thing we all got in common is we want to be in the driver's seat. Like, yes. We, like, whatever the specifics of what we do, like, we want to make the decisions. We want to, even if there's a crash coming, even if it's going to be difficult or whatever, like we want to be able to be in a position to make those decisions for ourselves and for families and for kids and for all the things. Like we want to be able to make those decisions because that's just what we want. Like we're comfortable with the risk because we know that the reward that comes with it. Love that, man. That's going to go on a mug. Really excited for that one. Okay. So almost a year in, building a business. What's next? Like what's next for the business? Like, yeah, you're almost a year in. Like, what's next?
That's a really good question. Okay. Twofold. I always do this. I always answer with two different things.
Sure.
I'll give you two different answers. That way you can pick which one you like.
Nice.
For me, I'm going to be building revenue next year. I'm going to be working on really scaling. So I know I can handle a lot more capacity wise, but eventually I would love to take somebody else on.
Okay.
I think that would be super cool. The other side is more like a psychological aspect, and it's more what I'm working on just as a personal business life focus, which is I also have had immense luck and success this first year, and I'm really happy with what I've built so far.
Mm-hmm.
And what I have realized about myself and about a lot of entrepreneurs is we're always scrambling for the next thing, and we're always saying, when I get this, I will then feel fulfilled. When I get that next revenue level, I will feel fulfilled. Or if I get that client, then I'll feel secure, like I'll be good. So I think this next year, I'm working both on growing my business, but also on the realization, like this, like now is all I have. So I'm going to be grateful for the fact that I have thus far built this business. I am at a place where I am getting to work in the business I love. I'm going to choose like, hey, today I'm happy. I'm happy with this, just how it is. And that's very hard for me because I'm always thinking about what's next. How do I achieve more? So that's going to be my 2026 focus, is both bringing on new clients and building new processes, but realizing like, hey, also I've done enough. Like, this is so cool. Like, look at something that was not existent is now existent. Like, that's crazy.
So what is that second? So that second half, right? Like the mindset, the like, hey, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that like where I'm at, look at this thing I've been able to build, you know, kind of like I would say like finding like finding fulfillment, like not that you're not wanting to grow, but like finding fulfillment with like where you're at. How does that look practically? Like what does that look like in day to day, week to week Ellie's life?
For me, that is making some choices that line up with what I say matters to me, even if sometimes my actions don't always reflect that. So for me, that's going to be, I'm going to choose, hey, I'm working these hours and I'm going to stop after this.
Nice.
So that's one thing, is like the schedule side, because I do, if I have work to do, I do it. I continue working. So that's going to be a major one for me. And I think another one for me is just realizing, like financially. So I love finances, obviously. So it's always fun to dream about the future. That's good. That's convenient.
That's a good prerequisite.
Like, woohoo! It's always fun to dream about the future and to plan all the ways I'm going to invest money and all the savings accounts I'm going to have and all the trips I'm going to plan. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's saying like, in this moment, I have enough. Like I've got a roof over my head. I've got food. I've got a family and a social life I love. Like, so it's taking those moments throughout my week to remind myself like, hey, it's already amazing the way it is. Because that's something that I work on a lot as the personality that I am, which is like, am I doing enough? Is this good enough?
Yeah.
Yes. That's going to be what I'm going to focus on reinforcing this year.
That's cool. Yeah. Well, and then like, so you kind of have, I like the almost like the dichotomy of it, where like you've got like, hey, I've got these goals. I know I want to grow the business. I know that, you know, I know this is where I want to get to, that kind of thing. But then also like having that, what I call like that, like daily gratitude of like, hey, like, yes, this is where I'm going. This is the goal. This is where I want to get to. But also like, this is what I have to be thankful for like right now. Because I feel like if you don't have that, if you're not like practicing that gratitude of like, hey, no, like, yes, I want to grow the business to X revenue or this person or whatever. But also like, it's really cool where I'm at right now. Like it's really cool that like, you know, a year ago, this was, or not even a year ago, this wasn't a thing. And now it is, and it's paying the bills and I'm living a life I want. Right. Like and there's things I want to, you know, do and grow and goals and all that. But like, this is really cool. Like this is a really cool spot to be, you know, like I feel like without the gratitude, like you lose not you, when I say you, I mean anybody, like you lose the perspective. Because then you get so focused on, and I know I've done this, like you get so focused on like where you're going that like you forget where you are. And then it makes it really hard. Like when you have, because if anybody, if you have not started a business, just so you know, there's going to be bad days. Not if, when, like when. That's a win. Like that's going to happen, right? Like when you have bad days, like it's really hard to sustain yourself in bad days on goals, because it's like because in that moment you're feeling like, oh crap, like this happened, or you lost this client, or this thing happened you didn't expect, or whatever, and you're just like, in that moment, what you don't want to hear is, yeah, in a year, I want to get to X revenue, or I want to get at this person, or whatever, because like that
loses its meaning in that moment.
Yeah, it really does. Well, it's like it loses meaning, but it also like it feels that much farther away because you're dealing with that thing in the moment right now, and it's like, how in the world am I going to get to that thing? Because like I'm already dealing with this thing now, you know. So when you can have that dichotomy of like, yes, you have the goals, but then also you have like the gratitude right now of appreciating like how far you've come, and also like what you have available right now, it's killer. Like, and then that's gonna help you through the harder days, but then also like keep you like, I don't know, like keep you grounded, like keep you like where like you're able to like enjoy where you're at now, and you're not always like waiting for this future, like when that happens then I'll be successful, when that happens I'll be happy with the business, whatever, the fill it in. That's killer. Okay, so we're kind of getting to the end of things, right? And we have so much good stuff here. So there's a lot that people can take away from this, but if you're, you know, I don't know, somebody hasn't watched this whole episode, right? They're tuning in for like the last couple minutes. What's something you would want other business owners to know? Like something you'd want to share with them, something you feel like they just need for like their life, their business. A lot of people say business oriented things, but this could be however you want it to be. Like what's something you'd want them to know?
If I were talking to current business owners, I think the advice that I would give is you don't know where your business is going to end up in 2 years, 5 years. It could be amazing. It probably will be. I mean, there's good history. I mean, you've done this far. You're probably going to go great places. But just remember, like, there's not going to be that perfect moment where you get all the tasks done, or you suddenly have the perfect business plan, or you've got your strategy completely ironed out. There's always going to be these challenges that you're going to get hit with. Mm-hmm. So just remember, like, in this moment, you have created something. You are already living the life that you wanted to live by taking that risk. So just take a minute and congratulate yourself that you were brave enough to do that. That's really cool.
Oh, that's so sweet. Everybody always gives like oh, like remember this thing, and like that's okay. It's a really nice balance. Most people are like, oh, remember this and don't forget this and that kind of thing. And I feel like yours was a little more on like the encouraging side, which is great. I was like, hey, like don't forget that, like, listen, you've done a good job. Like you've made something out of nothing, and like it's okay. Like it's okay to be where you're at. I love that. Okay, so where can people find out about the business, connect with you? Like what is like all the socials, all the things? Like where can they find you?
Oh, I love it. Okay, I'm doing a random YouTube channel right now. It's Own Your Books, at Own Your Books, and then ownyourbookaccounting.com is our website. What
about social media?
Social media, I've got at Own Your Books for Instagram. I think I've got that for Facebook too.
Gotcha.
I grabbed it. I was like, hey, this is still free. Woohoo!
Yeah. Okay. So when we'll put all that information like on the screen and stuff, and then what's like the best way for people to get in, like to like start working with you, hear more about the business? Like what's the email, phone call, social, like what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
I'm a word girly, so I love email, which is, I know, crazy, but so email would be great. Ellie at ownyourbookaccounting.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been great. I'll be honest. I was like, cool, awesome. We're going to talk like accounting and stuff. And then it ended up being this whole other thing, which is awesome. So, Ellie with Own Your Books Accounting, thank you for being here. Guys, be sure to check out the Shelf Life Show. We come out, we're working on getting every week, but talking to business owners about life and business and all the things. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell and all the YouTube stuff. And we will see you guys at the next episode. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out the Top Shelf Show. We hope that you walk away feeling inspired by the stories, by the lessons that these entrepreneurs, these business owners have learned and that they shared with us in this episode. We want to congratulate you in advance on the success that you're about to have in your own business, and we cannot wait to hear from you one day and possibly have you on the show. So be sure to check out the next episode, and as always, you can reach us on all of our social media platforms here. And thank you guys. We'll see you next time.